Hey, everybody. So, as we all get ready for the big sports ball event later, I thought I'd come out and talk a little bit about social media and the general landscape that's out there because it's kind of a weird and evolving landscape. And I'll try to answer a few questions. And just so everybody knows, I do own a social media company, and I'll show you some of that in a bit. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm not pushing my own business. I'm just talking about social media in general because there's a lot of sites to choose from. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm on this one or I'm on that one. And if you're trying to get a message out, if you're trying to build an audience, if you're trying to do anything that influencers, businesses, or marketing folks try to do, it's important to understand the differences in between those particular screens, in between those particular platforms. So let's start with Pinterest. So there's a bunch of different social media platforms out there to choose from. Pinterest is one of them that doesn't get talked about a lot, but if you're marketing at all and you want to market to women and you're not on Pinterest, you're really missing out because that platform is, depending on whose numbers you believe, it's hundreds of millions of users, whether it's 300 or 500 or 600, really depends on whose numbers you buy off on, but it's hundreds of millions of users. But here's the thing. It's like 85% female or something. So if you're trying to reach out and connect with women, that's the place to do it. Not in a, oh, I want to go get a date site. Forget about that. It's not what it's for. If you want to connect on a particular topic with women, that's where you do it. That's the platform for it because it is very heavily female. There is another one everybody's familiar with, TikTok. I'm not sure everybody's familiar with it, but a lot of people are. It is a video sharing platform. If you're trying to upload pictures or just text, forget it. TikTok is not the place for you. It is the place to upload videos in short form. It will not take hour-long videos. They take minutes. They don't take big, long ones. So it tends to skew a little bit younger, and you have to be able to get your message out that fast. No long form, really, explanations of things. LinkedIn is much more professional in nature. You'll notice people here are all wearing suits and trying to get across, oh look, I'm at a trade show. This is where you trade information about business oriented things. It's not always business oriented. Some of it does get a little bit different, but it tends to be more that direction. It's huge. It's actually owned by Microsoft now, I think. It is 3/4 of a billion users or something. But it's big. Threads. Let's go take a look at Threads. Threads is owned by Meta, so it's part of the Facebook Instagram family. It's their competitor for X. It's growing. It's not as big as some of the others yet, but it's still relatively new. Still kind of finding its way. It's now got an algorithm. It used to just have, hey, it's just posts are just going to show up. It now has an algorithm to kind of tailor to what you want to see. So if you interact with posts, like I interact with the Dungeons and Dragons ones, and I talk about the Super Bowl, so you'll see video games on my feed, you'll see Dungeons and Dragons on my feed, you'll see other stuff. Its algorithm, I have found, is very sensitive. So if you interact with a post, you're going to start to see a lot of that kind of post. So it's real easy to go down a rabbit hole. It's also real easy to have your post be full of what you want, as long as you remember to very carefully not post about what you don't want. And what do I mean by that? By the way, if you have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat window. Uh, One day I posted something a year ago or something about I'm single, I'm not married. I'm dating somebody now, but I'm single, I'm not married. Um, uh, and I posted something about a bad date, and for a week, all I had was nothing but posts about bad dates. So its algorithm is shockingly sensitive. So you can actually go through here and do things. You can do this on all the platforms. You can create a post to say, hey, yo, algorithm, please send me posts about TTRPGs, sports. I kind of like football. It's almost over, so but we'll put sports in there anyway, and fiction books. Now, post that, and the algorithm will actually see that post, and it'll go off and start to send me things on that about that. This is my feed. Over here, you see it kind of is organized like Twitter or X, sorry, where you get this timeline. I mostly talk about books on here. I don't necessarily talk about much of anything else because its algorithm is so freaking sensitive. It is also smaller, so it's a lot easier to connect with certain people. So I had a back and forth on here one day with some fairly famous artists. I've talked to game designers, scientists. I mean, I am a scientist, so they'll talk to me anyway. But but it's a cool platform. I think it's kind of interesting. It's certainly changing and evolving, but it's kind of interesting. Facebook, of course, one of those early ones everybody's familiar with. It has a much different follower model where it implies some kind of connection. You have to go in and agree to follow somebody, agree to connect to somebody. So its follower model is a little bit different. Their algorithm, as a result, is a little bit different. It's their algorithm is not as sensitive, but it is what you make of it. Uh, Instagram, of course, is a photo sharing, video sharing site. They have a section called Reels. You can load videos right now in the main section, or you can load it in the Reels section. They are about to take out their um, regular. They're about to no longer allow you to put videos in your regular posts. They're only going to be allowed on Reels, and I think they're doing that to try to compete with TikTok. I don't have any insight at the company level, but they do that to compete with TikTok. If you're following me on any of the platforms for my book collection, I tend to post pretty much all of it over here on this account, but um, sort of a account my kids and I started together. But it's kind of my book cover collection, if you will. Yes, I have all these books at home, and it's gets crowded on occasion. So that's that one. Now let's go over to X. I'll talk about that. Oh, YouTube. Let's look at YouTube. YouTube, of course, is a video sharing site. You don't get to share pictures there. You just get to share videos. It is on pretty much all smart TVs. It's got long form, short form. It does have YouTube Shorts that are sort of a couple of minutes. I think it's 2 minutes and down, might be 3 minutes and down. You've of course got longer form things. You can pay them for the YouTube subscription model that gives you what you call it access to some TV. You can get video game previews. I play video games. I'm waiting for this new version of Doom to come out. It looks pretty cool. Neil deGrasse Tyson has a channel. I've got a channel. Depending on what you want to do, you subscribe, and bingo bango, your feed is full of the stuff that you want to talk about or want to watch. I find Ben Stiller's kind of funny when he does these interviews. You see his stuff. AC/DC, of course, that's my particular type of music. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I am a physicist. I don't always agree with him, but he is who he is, so you got to follow him. At least if you're me. So you get music, video games. You can get news, commentary. Of course, all the politicians are on it. Now, X is its own can of worms. X is essentially like Threads. You get this nice timeline. There I am. Say hello, everybody. You get this nice timeline where you get to see things. This is my timeline of stuff I've posted. You'll see my books pop in here again. You also see a lot of other stuff. Again, this algorithm is what you make it. If you interact with things, that's what you're going to see. Dallas, I live in Dallas. We traded our best basketball player, and the whole town is mad. So you'll see me complaining about that off and on. I thought this was the funniest commercial in a while. My dog, bingo, bango. Now, why is all that important? Well, if you're trying to build a social media platform, empire, following, marketing of a product, whatever, each one of these platforms has different people on it. Some people are on multiple platforms, but each one has a different demographic, a different size, a different ability to reach out to people, and has a different vibe. Now, if you have a desire to look at those demographics, hey, Hannibal. And yeah, AC/DC rocks, man. They're like the definition of it. If you look at these different platforms, they all have a different sort of demographic to them, and you can Google that and find out for yourself where your demographic is, or you can ask ChatGPT or Grok or anything else, and they all kind of know where different people hide out, and you find where the audience you're seeking is, and it'll tell you. Now, it's not going to get down into the weeds of, the TTRPG community is over here, it's over there. No, they'll tell you the age and gender breakdown of the different platforms, and that'll kind of help you figure out, sort of narrow down into to what it is you're looking for. And I'm afraid to ask what the ACDC test at work is. Um, and the I don't know if everybody can see all the comments because I'm streaming this to multiple platforms. So anyway, I'm getting some from YouTube from Hannibal Grimm, which I think are funny. Oh yeah, Ready to Rock, ACDC test. Yeah, that's a good test. Um, I play the Metallica test. You know, you play Metallica really loud. The first person to complain means I put my headphones on. So, um, and then I don't have to hear anybody. The Although I do think ACDC's Thunderstruck was probably the best choice ever to put in the movie Battleship. The Anyway, back to what I was saying. So you find where your demographic is and you post there. Now TikTok recently almost was banned. It may still be. Who knows? I follow that, and even I can't tell you what's going on with it. I think it's going to survive. The But if you're trying to build an audience, if you're trying to connect with people, having connections across multiple platforms is kind of useful because some platforms have anger issues, other platforms don't, and they find a more polite audience. So I built a system over the last couple of years because I wrote a number of books, and I found writing books is actually infinitely easier than marketing books. So I built this platform called One for All Social, which is at o4a.com, oneforallsocial.com. First 2 months are absolutely free. If you want to use it for 2 months without putting in a credit card, give it a shot. You know, so you get 2 months without even disclosing your credit card information. Um, but what this system does is it allows you to write one post and send it multiple places, or you can schedule off in the future. You can do all kinds of things. You get this nice analytics section. So if you're curious how your posts are doing, you can pull up your analytics across all platforms in one place on one dashboard to say, hey, look, how am I doing on YouTube, right? So I'm getting more views. So this is the date range of January 7th through January 6th. I'm getting more views, right, in that month than I did in the previous month. I'm getting more comments. I'm getting more likes. Well, I'm getting more dislikes too, but yeah, okay. Can't make everybody happy all the time. You get these nice little squiggly lines that tell you where are you gaining subscribers, how many are you gaining versus how many you're losing. And I'm doing a pretty good job of gaining. I'm gaining like, 100 a day, 90 a day, pretty consistently. Every once in a while I pop a 200 a day, but that's okay. It breaks down your audience for you, so it tells you where you're kind of strong, where you're weak, and more importantly, it has this insight section that tells you the best day to post and the best type of video to post and how frequently to post, which that information will change based on the platform you go look at. So let's go look at insights for Instagram. And my best day is Tuesday, image and once. So the other one was Friday. So my audience over here is more active on a Tuesday. Um, Same thing with Threads. Go check that one. Okay, so best day is Friday, image, and 9 times a day. So it wants you to stay really active, which I do on Threads. But that insight is not geared towards a generic account. It's not geared towards, oh, everybody says do this, everybody says do that. No, says I'm going to analyze your account and tell you how your account is performing on particular days. So it sort of laser groups in on your account. Hey, Hannibal, you switched over to X, man. That's pretty cool. You follow me everywhere. Uh, the So anyway, that's that. But the other thing this thing lets you do is not only pull up your analytics to tell you how you're doing, which is important to figure that out, because if your accounts aren't succeeding, if you're not gaining an audience, if you're not growing, which would be your goal, you look at the analytics that could help you figure out why. But one of the other things you want to do is you want to stay active, right? So we built in this ability to like schedule posts out, and you'll see like these are my posts scheduled for later today. And I've got them posted on X and Threads and Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to all 4 of these every hour on the hour. But, who wants to go to 4 different platforms and write all that crap, right? You don't want to do that. So if you go in here to create post, you just kind of click on the ones you want to send it to. And then you write your post down here. I do enjoy playing some old school games, especially tabletop. Okay, video as well. You caught me. But this is one from from the early 90s that needs to get out more. Now, so I took a picture of one of the games from my game shelf earlier. Now, the thing about loading images on social sites is you want to make sure it's a decent quality image. The algorithms are smart enough to see, hey, is it going to be pixelated or not? Is it got weird, goofy backgrounds? Is it fuzzy? Is it, they're pretty good at looking at image quality. So the better your image quality, the better shot the algorithm has at picking you up and doing something with you. So this is a game off my gaming shelf. It's from the early 90s. It's far from the oldest one on my shelf. I've got some way further older than that, but this is kind of a cool one. So I thought I'd pick it up from back there. Now, remember when we talked about each platform being ever so slightly different? Well, the audience is different. So you can actually go through here and edit by platform. So what this is doing is letting me edit Facebook. Now, Facebook, it'll tell you how many characters you get. It's like 63,000. You can write a book on Facebook, and it won't care. A great character, movies, books, TV, cartoons. He was everywhere, and even in tabletop games. Now, the way to be found on these different sites is with a using the right hashtags, right? So we put this hashtag tool in that reads your post for you and goes out and finds the most viewed hashtags on each platform. Not the most used, the most viewed. So, okay, book TV. I didn't even think about that one. Old school games. Let's just pick a couple that kind of look like fun. That's the top pick, but we're going to add it to the post. Bingo, bango. There you go. I would have never thought of book TV. So the system actually goes and does a lot of research for you on the fly to say, hey, look, let's find the right ones. So that's Facebook. Let's go to Instagram. Instagram's not really driven by the caption as much as it is by the images and the hashtags. So I'm not going to add any text here. I'm just going to go through and add a bunch of hashtags. Gamers with a Z. I would have never thought of that one, but there it is. So see, the system is smart enough to read your post and say, okay, which hashtags mean the same thing, right? Gamers. It's not anywhere in my post, but sure enough, there it is. So let's add those to the post. All right, that's cool. Threads will only let you use a single hashtag. If you use more than that, it will ignore them. So I'm going to go here. All right, let's just pick out old school games. Use that one. X, because the people that run X have decided that hashtags are ugly. They no longer care about the hashtags. So you don't really want to use them. The algorithm will actually downgrade you a bit. I do have some character space left, so why not throw something else in there? This one is still from when TSR was itself, but after Gary Gygax's departure. All right, now check this out. So we go next, and you'll give you a chance to preview what it's going to look like on each platform. So you see I picked 4, so there they are. That's actually what it will look like on each one of those platforms. And you can post it all now. You can schedule off in the future. So it's about 11:05. I'm just going to schedule this one for 15 minutes from now. It's scheduled, or scheduling it as we speak, or as I speak. And there it is. You can go in and look at your scheduler and focus on daily. And there it is. There's your post. Now, everything I just showed you, you can do on mobile as well as on desktop. You don't have to sit in front of your computer to do this. It's on both iOS and Android. And like I said, man, you get 2 months for free. You don't have to give us your credit card inside those first 2 months. Completely on us. Give it a shot. See what happens. The next iteration we're spinning out in the next couple of weeks, that's currently on the beta site, probably going to be out either next week or the week after, is the ability to upload an image and have the system analyze that image looking for hashtags. And what does that mean? It means you don't have to put all the words in your post. You just upload the image you want and extracts hashtags from it. So I was messing around with it one day and loaded a picture of my kid's tarantula, and it came up with the hashtag options it came up with were tarantula, arachnid, spider, and which I thought was kind of funny. Also, we'll have the ability to generate images, use it, don't use it, I don't care. We're using AOS or AWS's image generator for it, which is a little bit different than most, but I think it's going to be an interesting add-on. So check it out. I think 24.99 is what we're at on our base price right now, even after the trial period. So uh, give it a check it out, play with it. If you like it, you're gonna you'll grow. I use it to post a bunch of my stuff, and it has certainly helped me grow to. Gosh, what am I at on YouTube now? Um, 9,100 on YouTube, and if you look at my analytics over there, growing the channel, you go back not that long ago, like in the last year, you can see where I kind of started trying to grow was back here. And I said, okay. And then I started using the system around here and I went, boom, it really started to kind of, get this huge difference. I was just kind of messing with my kids in this range. And then I started really using the system to do it instead of just messing with my kids. And next thing you know, I'm getting growth like that from whatever it was, 1,600, 1,700 on up to almost pushing 10,000 now. So the growth charts go crazy. If you look at my Twitter account, anything, I'm pushing 12,000 something on Twitter with an engagement rate like 8%. So, it is having the right tools really matters. If you're trying to grow, this is one of the tools that are out there. Everybody try to have a great day. Remember, go sports. And let's just hope the commercials are funny and T Swift finally gets her proposal. We'll talk to everybody later.